That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Ryan O'Halloran.
Jason David Frank.
Humberto Ramos.
Please do not change channel.
Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin' With Web Show. I'm GW Pomacher, and we are here today at Wickham Park. We're going to meet with authors, artists, filmmakers, musicians, creators of all kinds. We hope you'll take a minute right now, hit subscribe, and we can come back over and over again and see every episode. You want to watch every single one. I might say something really important in this episode that you need for the next episode. Sure. It could happen. You don't know. It could. We could be telling the truth. We're here right now. We're hanging with Greg St. Pierre and Paul Van Scott. You guys are filmmakers?
Yes.
Yes. He took a breath. He's like, yes.
Let's roll.
That's what he told his parents, too. Yes, I am. Okay. You guys have a movie coming out. It is The Man Across the Street. Yes. The Man Across the Street is not a very nice man. I saw your teaser. He might be a nice man, but he's a creepy man.
All true.
All true. It could happen. You don't know. We don't know about the man across the street. We just know that the man in this picture is creepy. And the one in the teaser is creepy.
Yeah, and it kind of goes from there.
We're done. That's it. We know the story. It's all good.
Thank you
for that. Okay, guys. So, Man Across the Street. Which one of you sick bastards came up with that?
Probably mostly. Everybody's pointing to someone else.
Yeah, joint effort. Yeah. Okay. All right, so what inspired this story?
Actually, a coworker, a former coworker, I should say.
Creepy bastard.
Yeah. This
They're
guy
watching you.
All I'm going to say is he had a lot of weird stuff going on in his head, and I just thought to myself, what if any of this was real?
And weird
and
stuff.
It literally stemmed from that.
That's kind of cool. You guys co-wrote
the project? Once I came up with the concept, I asked Paul to join me. It's the first time he's ever written a script.
Nice.
With anyone, and he did a fantastic job. I'm tickled pink with, we just bounced a lot of stuff back and forth, and I think we're pretty happy with the final product.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really a good story. It's got a good ending. It's got a couple of twists and turns you might not expect, and it's kind of got a Twilight Zone feel to it, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, well, I got that from the teaser.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, a lot more. One of the things that the sort of the 60s and 70s versions of suspense. I won't say horror so much as suspense.
Exactly.
One of the things that they did really, really well, and they taught us all to do, was it's what you don't know that scares you most.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We do have an element of that, yeah.
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 And even at the end, in fact, we did our final auditions just a week ago, and the actors and my DP, who was there with me to kind of film some of this, we spent quite a bit of time talking about the interpretations of different things in it, which for me as a writer and for the work that we did, it was really cool because what do I think this means and what do I think that means, and we left some things open-ended on purpose.
Yeah.
Plus we only had a 15-minute meeting to work in, so there's only so much you can do. But
okay, so this is a short film.
Yes.
Short film.
A short film.
We're thinking, 15 minutes.
15, 20 minutes tops.
What's you guys you just started? Where are you in production right now?
Kind of just getting ready to start principal filming, right?
End of April we start shooting.
Yeah,
awesome.
Looking at locations right now, but the cast is set and the story set. So.
And what's the plan for the film in terms of releases? You're going to do the festival circuit for a while?
Definitely Melbourne Independent Film Festival, and then
fantastic festival, guys.
As many festivals as
we got to spend our whole weekend down there at the festival this year and had a blast. And the films were amazing.
My film was in this one of my
I
previous films
didn't realize how much of an independent film community we have.
Yeah.
Just right here in Brevard.
Although some of it's moving north at an alarming rate. Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody wants to get to Atlanta, Hollywood East, as it were.
Yeah.
But we talk a lot on the show with authors and musicians as well as filmmakers about arts and entertainment and the shifting of the paradigm. Location is not as much of an issue as it once was.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Budget is always an issue. Raising money for a film is always an issue, right? But technology is not as much of an issue. I did a speech yesterday, a keynote speech for a group of young people, and talking about the fact that in 1969 when we put a man on the moon, each one of them has more computing power in their phone. In their
pocket.
Okay.
More knowledge.
So when it comes to making films, and we can harken back to those the Kevin Smith indie days where you're cutting film in the back of your day job, right? Or we can look at today, taping it together, right?
Splicing.
Where now today we're looking at the technology to be able to film and edit and do cool stuff that was groundbreaking, many years ago, and now is almost entirely software driven. In fact, it was a struggle for us just doing the show. It was a struggle for us to learn how the software was doing things so that I could recreate it when I wanted to, because it's so software driven that it just sort of happens. And I'm like, no, I have to know how it happens, otherwise I can't learn my craft.
Now you have people shooting movies on their phones.
They do.
Yeah, and then they edit it on the phone and everything.
It's amazing. It really is.
To me, that would be infuriating. I mean, it's trying to work with
Well, you can see the cameras. We have to have monitors just because I have old eyes.
Yeah, that's
if I tried to actually set a shot in that little bitty camera window, my brain would explode. So you guys are just about ready to start principal photography. How long have each one of you been making films? Now, this is your first project.
As a writer.
As a writer, okay. Yeah. But you've been involved in independent films before.
Yeah. I actually cast him in the film that I did a couple years ago called Save the Mosquitoes. He was one of the stars.
Save the Mosquitoes.
Yeah. It's a parody of...
It's a mockumentary.
No. Not a parody. Yeah. Save the Mosquitoes. Yeah. You guys didn't know that, did you? The internet didn't know that. They were like, Save the Mosquitoes, what's that about?
Well, look it up and still watch it.
Gotta go watch it. Gotta go watch it. Okay, so you're gonna hit the Melbourne Independent Film Festival. What's the distribution model from there?
As many other festivals as we can get it at, and if the quality's good enough, there are some online. There are venues you can now take some short films to. They will collect a bunch, and you won't get a ton of money for it, but you can get something for it.
No, well, that's just it. We were talking with some filmmakers not long ago where we talked about the fact that it doesn't make any money, and it doesn't build a community on your computer at home. It's got to be out there somewhere.
Got to be out there.
So even if it's a short or whatever, even if you put it on YouTube, use Amazon, there's so many places to put it now that even if it doesn't make a lot of money, it builds a community around it. And as a filmmaker, I mean, so adulation is almost as good as cash.
And the other thing for me is I enjoy a lot of the people that I've had get involved with the few films that I've done. I like, you get to bring in people who've never done it before, and so it's a new experience for them. And like for him, for example, it was his first film, and I think he enjoyed being a part of it. And of course, he's gone on from there to be in several different films, and he's got more coming. So he's a busy boy.
It's addicting. This is addicting, isn't it? Being a creative person, being creative and finding an outlet for that creativity is an addiction.
It's challenging too. I mean, some of the challenges you face, especially when you're not afraid to write things that are going to take a little bit of effort to pull off.
What's the most difficult thing that you guys had to work on, or where you haven't worked on it yet?
No, we haven't.
The most difficult thing that you think is in your script right now? What's
hiding the ending?
Hiding the ending.
Yeah. I would go too far when we were writing it, and he was like, "Oh, that's so close to giving it away." And he would knock me back into play a little bit, and I'd be like, "You're right. You're going to tone that down a little bit." Yeah.
That's the hardest thing about a mystery or suspense story of any kind. I write mystery novels, so the hardest thing about a mystery novel is I know where it's going as the writer.
How do you temper that?
There's always that temptation, right? I want to take you right to here. If I show you this. But if I show you that, are you going to guess?
You have to have that ability to step outside yourself and then see it from the audience's perspective. Okay, what do they know up to this point? I already know the ending, but
Right, but make the points good enough where they can, when they watch the film the second time, and they watch it the second time, then they're going to see things that now make more sense.
Makes sense.
Like, oh, that's why.
We do give little clues along the way.
I'm always drawn to think about Shyamalan's Sixth Sense.
Exactly. That's
the sheer number of things that even people with expectations, you knew you were walking into a suspense thriller, you knew you were walking into a ghost story, you knew you were walking into these things, and the number of things that he can go back later and show you that you missed was unfathomable. Because up until seeing that movie, I never thought I was an idiot. And then I walked out thinking, there were at least 3 out of the 5 shots he showed me that I completely missed.
Yeah,
and
you
I thought,
I should have known.
I should have seen that, and I just didn't.
And you know with M. Night that most of what you're seeing is not what you think you're seeing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought, you just, I love, again, for you guys especially, when I write a story, there's people read in a funny way. They tend to scan. When you watch a movie, there's so much visually happening that, like you said, with M. Night, you almost always know that he's fixed the shot somewhere so that your eye has gone where he wanted it to go instead of where the story is. So that you know there's a little trickery there. As a visual storyteller, that's a very difficult thing to do because you want to set your shot to show the action of the scene. But as you said, Sixth Sense is a good example of that, where here's the shot, we're watching 2 people have dinner, and the focal point is up here with a conversation. It's not down here with the check and the lack of touching and all of that.
Exactly.
So the shot's the same until you zoom in and you see the things that you were supposed to see in your periphery. So as you're writing a suspense thriller, what are the challenges in shooting that you're looking forward to?
Pretty much that same stuff.
Yeah,
and
trying to find those.
Yeah, trying not to give away too much. But
because if you go over too far, if you take a shot over here too far, everyone knows. Oh,
like,
he's trying to trick
okay,
me.
all right.
Yeah, but if you set it just the way you want it, then I'm right on your action.
And
I'm like, yeah, I know that. So we're,
we think we've got some pretty good,
pretty good shots.
Yeah, pretty good.
There's even
stuff
we managed
lined
to
up.
build in a little bit of foreshadowing in there.
Very
where
nice.
When you get to the end, you're going to go, that's why they showed us.
Ah, yeah.
But not too much.
Right. No, not too much.
Well, that's the trick with suspense. In writing, they always tell you, in writing school, they tell you, never show them a gun unless you're going to use it. But how do I show you the gun in a way that you forget that I showed you the gun by the time I do use it?
Quick shot of somebody tucking it in.
Those are the tricks, right? Of trying.
And it's the same trick, really. Magicians use when they tell you to pick a card, and then your card ends up on the shelf behind them.
Yeah.
They get you thinking, how do you get the card up there? When the trick was he got you to pick the card he wanted.
That was already up there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same.
Yeah.
The same with the film.
So, too, one of the challenges was keeping it compelling to the end, so that you wanted to get to that point where the big twist is.
There's a tendency in visual film, in visual storytelling, that we have a length of time to tell a story. What are the challenges in telling a short, in building a suspenseful and exciting and dynamic but short film?
I think there's pros and cons. I mean, it's not.
Well, the pro, I don't have an 8-month shoot. With,
and the story doesn't drag on,
yeah.
and people lose interest.
Yeah. So what's the challenge in condensing into a 15-minute format?
Keeping your characters interesting and compelling.
Right.
Is there a tendency
you don't have
to
much time for character development?
I was going to say, is there a tendency to forget to develop a character because you don't have a lot of time? How do you let's take a classic bad guy, and we don't want to give away what's going on over here in Man Across the Street, but let's take a classic bad guy. I got 15 minutes to go from start in exposition to climax and conclusion. And when I get to climax and conclusion, I need to know that this guy's an asshole.
Right.
I think
how do I do that in
15
minutes? Sometimes it takes me 15 minutes to do that in a 2-hour film.
Right, and the opposite, if you're trying to get the viewers to care about somebody.
The good guy, yeah. How do I get them to really invest?
How can we make them like this guy?
How do you make them like that guy? Are there tricks that you have visually to try to do that, or are there things that you can do?
I think you make in tricks.
I guess that depends on if you're going to have an overt bad guy.
Okay.
Because if you're going to get near the end and maybe switch things up a little bit, or somebody's not who you thought they were going to be, that kind of thing, I think to me that's the hard part to hide.
Yeah.
And still keep it compelling. But as far as
get into it as quick as you can in the story.
Yeah. Yeah. The idea is, how do you build that character? When you've done some acting, so as an actor, how do you make your character somebody who the audience is invested in when he tells you, okay, look, I got this scene is 2 minutes and you have 30 seconds. Make them like you.
You're trying to make it as real as possible, and flow with the script, and any mannerism you can use in that amount of time.
The kind of a teaser, 30 seconds, teaser language. Man Across the Street is go.
a idyllic neighborhood. Idyllic neighborhood has it. It's an idyllic neighborhood. Everything seems to be very pleasant, very nice, but there's somebody in this neighborhood who doesn't seem to fit, and the audience is really not going to know why until the end. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're sort of going to create a question in their mind. Why are these people tolerating the presence of this person because everything else seems so perfect?
Okay, so just
Did I give away too much?
No,
Okay.
no.
We're gonna have to rewrite the
The
ending.
Burbs gets dark. Is what the, yeah,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's that's pretty much it.
nice. This how many films have you done so far?
This would be my third.
This will be your third.
This first one won at the Melbourne International.
film.
Melbourne
Which one was that?
It was called Pizza, and it was
Mockumentary.
another mockumentary. So my first two films were mockumentaries. You get away with a lot in those.
I like mockumentaries.
But,
You can do anything.
It was
They're fun.
Yeah.
pizza delivery filmed in the style of the Cops TV show.
It's hilarious. It really was.
That
fun.
is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. Wow. Really? We've been talking. Look, we're kind of getting to know each other here.
Cut.
I don't like you. All right. So we're going to say thank you to our partners and friends. We're going to tell you, Man Across the Street is getting ready to start production, coming to a film festival near you. Then right after that, you guys are going to love seeing this movie. You're going to stream it. You're going to buy it. You're going to do a lot of things. Man Across the Street. Look out for it. We're going to say thank you to our partners and friends, Something Unique Magazine, Famous Faces and Funnies, Krypton Radio, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, our great friends at Asylum Convention Entertainment Services, our great friends over at the Space Coast Book Lovers event coming up here in May. I'm GW Pometry. I've been hanging with Greg St. Pierre and Paul Van Scott. And these guys are responsible for what you're going to see in Man Across the Street. Take your heart medication, be ready. I saw the teaser, guys. It kind of creeped me out a little bit. It was pretty good.
That was my voice, by the way.
That was your
his
voice.
Yeah.
He's got a creepy voice too.
Thanks.
So look, if you don't like the movie, you call. We're gonna set up a 1-900 number. We're here to scare you with his voice. Okay? That's how we're gonna fund the next film. All right. Thank you guys so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thanks for hanging with us, guys. Check out Man Across the Street when it comes out, and remember, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next.